So most people lack self-respect, and if you're somebody who lacks self-respect, this video is for you. Let's talk about what self-respect actually looks like, right? Because the major problem that people are afraid of when it comes to self-respect is the fact that they are afraid of losing people. They're afraid of losing people. They're afraid of being judged by other people. So guess what? They'll rather disrespect themselves or bend over backwards for people. Have you ever seen yourself in a situation where you have a responsibility to go for, right? Maybe you have an exam coming up soon, and somebody calls you for a party. Just because you want to increase your social status, because you want to help that person with his ego, you rather sacrifice your exams. Ask yourself, does that look like something you respect? Does it look like you respect your future self? So here's the harsh truth. People cannot respect you more than you respect yourself. It's a harsh truth. That's why you see self-respect, self-love, self-acceptance. Everything comes down to how you see yourself. So if you want to know what self-respect feels like, let's look at what disrespect feels like. So if you look at how people disrespect you, it's easy for you to know how you can respect yourself. So one way people disrespect you is they give you a promise and they break it themselves. Think about it. Have you given yourself a promise and you're breaking it yourself? For example, you tell yourself, I'll go to the gym 3 times a week. And then the first day comes, you're like, nah, don't worry. Even though you're just showing up, there's a reason successful people, you're giving advice, just show up. Even though you're down. Some days I don't feel like going to the gym. Even in my vlog, right? I do that. I'll go to the gym and just at least lift a couple of things. Even though I spent 30 minutes or 45 minutes, I know that I did something, at least. That's self-respect. So self-respect is sort of tied with discipline. It's tied with discipline. Another reason people disrespect you is because they feel that there are no consequences for disrespecting you. They are too comfortable with you. They're not afraid of losing you. So how does that come up? When you do that to yourself, you are too familiar with yourself. When you're familiar with yourself, to you, what looks like disrespect is like what? Is brushed off. You tell yourself, and whenever I hear people say things like, oh, I procrastinate, I'm like, do you really know what that means deep down? When you procrastinate, do you think people take you serious? When you procrastinate, when you do things that you're not supposed to do, and you openly tell people, you're basically telling them to not take you serious. It's better for you to procrastinate and know that you are fixing it, and for you to tell people, well, I'm sorry, I procrastinate usually. No, you are insulting people, telling people how they should treat you. So why I feel ways towards giving yourself self-respect? Because self-respect is just you're telling people this is me, this is how I treat myself, and this is how you should treat me if you want us to be together. And this mindset shift came up when I was listening to Jordan Peterson, and his rule too of the 12 rules to life is treat yourself like you're somebody you're responsible for taking care of. And why it struck me hard at that moment was I was taking care of my late grandma, right? She was in the house, so we were taking someone to take care of her. We make sure she has her drugs, she's bathed, she's clean, her room is clean. At that moment, it kind of felt like, yes, she's my grandma, but all this energy I'm putting into her, right? Have I really put that into myself at all? Then it dawned on me that I have literally was ignoring myself then, not taking care of myself. And that's the sign of of lack of self-respect. You don't take care of yourself. You take care of other people's needs, other people's wants over yours. So you see, we frown against the idea of being selfish. But let's be honest. You look at people who are successful, they are selfish first before they become generous. So selfishness is not about you only thinking about yourself. Is you think about yourself first. When you are full, you can begin to give other people. So it's about giving when you have, not giving what you have right now. So circling back is how can you become somebody who has self-respect? One, become aware of who you are, what you like and what you don't dislike. The clearer you are on this thing, the better it is for you to communicate it with other people. But this is where the fear. Remember, all fear starts at the beginning. And the beginning here is communicating what you like and don't like to other people. Say, heck, I don't want to be treated this way. I'm begging you, don't treat me this way. And anybody who looks at it and laughs at it should be somebody who you take out of your life completely. It's not somebody who is ever going to respect you. So you should know this by now. So when you know what you like and what you don't like, it becomes easy to communicate it. What else should you do? You should be somebody, have goals. Because if you're not progressing towards something, guess what? People don't get to respect you. I'm serious. If you're not progressing towards something, it's also a way of you knowing what you want. How else can you show respect? It is one, always choose respect other people, because you give what you cannot give what you don't have. If you don't respect, if you respect yourself, automatically it becomes easy to respect people. There's a reason the most successful people, even if you follow my vlog, you get to see me hang out with people who are older than me. The most respectful people are people, they end up respecting everybody. And these guys are very rich. They respect their drivers, their cleaners, their cooks. So what that means is respect is not about you alone, it's about other people. How do you treat other people? So people have this idea that self-respect is egotistic, is narcissistic. No. The people with the best self-respect, again, they've given themselves so much respect, it begins to spill over to other people. They know this. And the better they make, and again, people who are in higher positions, they kind of know that for them to stay there, they have to respect people in lower positions. And those respect is a lot. It means a lot to these guys. How else? Be somebody who chooses to have deep beliefs and values, and you hold yourself to those standards. Be somebody who has high standards. Hold yourself to those high standards, especially when nobody's looking at you. So that's why I said the promises you give to yourself, follow through on those promises. And if possible, if you break them, try to punish yourself for it. I have an issue with people who practice, who don't practice what they preach. Because it's easy for you to preach it. It's easy for you to preach. It is not easy for you to practice. Practice takes effort. And because you're too familiar with yourself, you don't believe that there are consequences for breaking your own rules, your own words. Guess what? You begin to take yourself for granted. Again, become somebody who chooses what is meaningful over what is expedient. Again, this came from Jordan Peterson's rule. Again, this is why, heck, I don't know why Jordan Peterson is currently going through shit right now, but one thing for sure is that he helps my life and he helps a lot of people. But somebody who will choose long-term joy, long-term satisfaction over short-term pleasure. Yeah. And if you see yourself doing these things, it becomes easier for you to make friends, because at first, when you begin to choose self-respect, people begin to call you names. Whether you like it or not, you cannot stop it. They will call you names, they will gaslight you. They'll say things like, oh, you have changed. Oh, you're different now. Is it because you're rich? But no, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid the names. That is real fear, the judgment. If you have overcome the judgment, fuck it. Fuck it. You see, you begin to attract people who respect you with what you like and what you don't like. People who will take you for who you are and say, you know what, this is what he doesn't like, so don't do it. Again, I've been hanging around people who are older than me, and these guys, if you look at the way they talk, they all banter, but you can feel that respect, that they have proper boundaries. So those are the few tips that I've seen myself, what it feels like. People will call you cocky, people call you narcissistic, but heck, take yourself so serious. Take yourself very serious. And the more serious you take yourself, the more respect you give yourself and the more respect people give to you. However, there's a slight caveat. When I say take yourself serious, when people take themselves too serious, they become full-blown narcissists. The difference here is that people will begin to avoid you. Even those that give you respect will begin to avoid you if you take yourself too serious. It's like a cup. You cannot put so much in a cup, and when it's full, you stop. That means you take yourself serious. That's already enough. Hold yourself to high standards. When you begin to think of yourself too much, guess what? You begin to do a lot of dumb shit, and people basically begin to avoid you. The difference between confidence and arrogance, it's a very thin line. So my name is Tonore. I just create content to help young men figure out life, become better versions of themselves, to have self-respect and watch the way women treat them. And speaking of that, sorry, I think I may have skipped that. One major reason why a lot of guys lose their girlfriends is when they get into a relationship, women would always test you. They'll test you in ways that to you doesn't even make any sense. It could be a simple test as, help me hold my handbag in public. Yes, you see a lot of masculine men say they don't do that because should I take it to the bathroom? Why are you giving it to her? She begins to give you little errands, right? She begins to push you off frame. She begins to push your agenda. She begins to want to maybe change your schedule. But the more solid you stand, and not that fear of, oh, I don't want to lose her, the more solid you are in that frame. Because let's be honest, sometimes you may have to adjust, but the more solid you are in that frame, the better for you. You can adjust and bounce back. And she knows this is where women test. Women would always test you. Femininity will always test masculinity every single time. But men fail those tests, and before you know it, she becomes too familiar with you. And when it comes to familiar, she does not really, she feels like if you leave, there's no consequences. I'll tell you as a man, never do that. Establish proper boundaries. It's proper self-respect that you show that. You're telling her that, heck, I'm not somebody that you should basically mess with. And be willing to walk away. Relating to work, that's why I said it should be your own best friend if you want to have self-respect. Like, you want to have self-love. My name is Tonere. I wanted to please share this video with somebody who would find it helpful. Let's get more guys having self-respect for themselves. And that's a self-respect that is deeply rooted. Not because I said so, but because you have internalized and you have understood that self-respect is about you holding yourself to high standards, giving yourself promises, and you follow through on those promises, regardless of what other people are saying or doing. So thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and then share this video.